For many years, astronomers have delved into the cosmos, looking for planets and signals. They also seek the peculiar anomalies that challenge our understanding. Recently, the James Webb Space Telescope may have stumbled upon such a mystery. What began as a routine study of the third confirmed interstellar visitor, named 3 Atlas, has unveiled something unexpectedly intricate and dark. In the cold expanses of space, Webb identified a light source that was unexpected. This light wasn't sunlight reflecting off a surface. Instead, it appeared to emanate from within the object itself. 3 Atlas was first spotted as a faint dot on the outskirts of our solar system. It followed an improbable path suggesting an origin from beyond our local neighborhood. Its route indicated that it was launched from a distant area, now meandering through our cosmic vicinity. Initially, it was viewed merely as a curiosity, similar to Oumuamua and Borisov. However, early images sparked fascinating inquiries. Given its anticipated size and makeup, it displayed an unusual luminosity. This brightness did not resemble that of a comet, as there were no sudden releases from sublimating ice or a dusty halo shifting due to solar heating. Instead, its light was steady and almost seemed to originate from within. Astronomers around the globe directed their telescopes toward it. Webb's infrared equipment aimed to resolve the mystery but only muddled it further. Instead of capturing reflected starlight, it detected concentrated thermal emissions, heat radiating from a specific internal core. This heat pattern did not align with known natural distributions. Instead, it pulsed irregularly, suggesting some underlying order. Possible explanations, such as radioactive decay or strange internal chemistry, were examined and ruled out. The simplest, albeit unsettling, conclusion was that the object contained active systems. As data streamed in from Webb, Hubble, and various ground observatories, a clear profile materialized. This body did not behave like typical rock, ice, or debris. Its trajectory was alarmingly precise, seemingly responsive to gravitational pulls. Its rotation was unnaturally uniform, unlike the chaotic tumbling of small bodies. Moreover, its surface reflected light akin to polished metal rather than porous stone. Observers began speculating about the notion of a probe. Some even used stronger terms like beacon, craft, or artifact. This concept of advanced technology rose from fringe ideas into mainstream academic discussion. The nature of the emitted light was even more disconcerting. Spectral studies revealed emissions concentrated in narrow bands, diverging from the typical wide-range reflection of sunlight scattered by dust. These specific bands aligned with frequencies used by our technology for LEDs, lasers, and spacecraft communication. The light's intensity suggested it responded to solar inputs, as if an onboard system actively regulated it. Longitudinal analyses showed intermittent pulses. Some researchers noted structure amidst the noise. These cues weren't clear binary signals, but rather transformations unveiled repeating cyclical patterns too regular to be purely natural. Whether a beacon, telemetry, or something else, this emission denoted intent. A select group at 2 prestigious universities conducted detailed signal analyses. While many dismissed the results as mere noise, they uncovered a recurring structure, one that didn't fit human modulation schemes. Some speculated it was aimed at distant receivers, while others thought it might be consistent telemetry sent back to a long-extinct origin. The unsettling realization was that whatever purpose 3 Atlas served, it had likely been doing so for a long time, perhaps not meant for human observation at all. News spread quickly within government circles. Confidential reports circulated among space agencies and defense organizations. Leaks to media suggested that officials were working together internationally to assess potential risks and intentions. Theories ranged from an ancient, automated probe on a defined course to something more ominous, an observer, sentinel, or component of a broader system. If it transmitted signals, who might be listening? If it emitted light, did it also possess propulsion capabilities? If this object responded to our sun or our observations, could our mere presence have awakened it? A provocative theory emerged. 3 Atlas might be harnessing energy. Its light output varied with the sun's proximity, and there were scant indications of chemical outgassing. Some theorists speculated about an engineered surface, possibly hidden beneath dust, designed to absorb solar radiation and convert it into usable energy. This dust could serve dual functions, offering both camouflage and a mechanism for capturing photons. If this theory holds, it might be a self-sustaining machine, capable of traveling light years, resting for centuries, and activating only when a favored star is near. If our sun roused it from slumber, we might be witnessing a probe reactivating after a long period of inactivity. Initially, no public statements were made. What leaked were internal assessments indicating that if 3 Atlas was artificial, its implications would extend beyond astronomy. It would influence national security, philosophy, and every sector defining human existence. A slight yet detectable shift altered its trajectory, bringing it closer to Earth's orbital plane. Solar radiation pressure could not explain this movement. Although minor, it was deliberate, suggesting that, for the first time, the object's motion resembled navigation instead of random drifting. For many years, we have searched the skies for more than just planets or signals. We've been on the lookout for anomalies, things that defy classification. What started as a routine search for extraterrestrial visitors has transformed into one of modern astronomy's most peculiar investigations. The object known as 3 Atlas first appeared as a faint point at the outskirts of our solar system, with a trajectory that suggested it was not part of our Sun's family. Immediately, it proved to be unlike anything familiar. Its brightness did not exhibit the unpredictable, erratic behavior typical of comets. There were no impressive comas of sublimating ice nor chaotic plumes of gas and dust. Instead, its luminescence remained consistent, occasionally pulsing with a delicate rhythm. The Webb telescope's infrared capabilities, which were expected to address mundane questions, unveiled unsettling revelations. Thermal emissions originating from a concentrated core, suggesting heat generated internally rather than merely reflected sunlight. As global observatories shifted their focus, a disconcerting profile began to emerge. The object's rotation exhibited an unnatural steadiness, lacking the random tumbling characteristic of most small celestial bodies. Sections of its surface reflected light like polished metal, while spectral analysis indicated narrowband emissions at wavelengths similar to those our technology uses for communications. These emissions were not broad, chaotic reflections, rather, they appeared controlled, and when analyzed over time, revealed a repetitive pattern too regular to be dismissed as mere coincidence. Fourier transforms and advanced signal processing extracted faint yet recurring components from the noise, not human modulation or clean binary, but discernible patterns hinting at intentionality. Instruments also identified materials that prompted careful consideration: highly reflective alloys, signatures of rare earth elements, and absorption lines unrecognized from any known terrestrial substances. Some profiles mirrored theoretical quantum materials predicted to exist only under extreme laboratory conditions, suggesting this object might have been engineered outside the realm of natural cosmic chemistry. The implications were both immediate and significant. If 3 Atlas contained synthesized materials and emitted controlled light, it could potentially be a machine, perhaps a probe, beacon, or artifact. If it executed precise course adjustments and modulated its emissions in response to solar activity, it could be powered and capable of limited navigation. This possibility sparked ripples through scientific and defense circles. Observatories strengthened their security measures. Research teams were discreetly reassigned, and satellite operations noted abrupt recalibrations. Leaked internal reports hinted at a daunting scenario. This could be a scout or a long-term observation device sent by a distant civilization, designed to remain dormant for centuries until detecting a star of interest. Among the most provocative data came from a bold group at SETI, who transmitted a carefully framed mathematical handshake towards 3 Atlas. They included universal constants, the periodic table, and visual representations of humanity. Days passed without a response. Then, a monitoring station in Chile registered a narrowband return pulse, distorted and off-frequency, yet undeniably timed to match the original message. It wasn't a language or a decoded reply but rather a processed ping. Something had received our signal, conducted a calculation, and opted to respond. The timing was precise, 72 hours post-transmission, implying intent rather than coincidence. Following this response, further anomalies ensued. Webb's thermal maps began to flicker, while Hubble's gyroscopes detected microfluctuations despite stable orientations. Ground telescopes reported software glitches, misaligned star charts, and frozen data streams, all appearing in synchronized intervals focused on 3 Atlas. Some analysts suggested a chilling explanation. The object was not only emitting signals but also selectively interfering, jamming or distorting observations at will. If this is true, it would mean we weren't merely observing an inert relic but were being monitored, offered limited glimpses according to its discretion. Authorities took measures to restrict data flow and reroute reports. Public logs either disappeared or became ambiguous. The European Space Agency mentioned instrument recalibrations, while NASA fell silent. Peer-reviewed papers were revised into neutral summaries, and investigative works were either retracted or diluted. Independent observatories attempted to publish raw data streams, only for those outputs to be quickly overwhelmed by misinformation. The scientific enigma had evolved into a strategic asset, and wherever governments label something as classified, the truth often recedes into shadow. As Webb continues to observe and telescopes around the world maintain their vigilance, scientists refine their models and governments meet behind closed doors. Some hope 3 Atlas is an ancient remnant of a long-extinct civilization, quietly preserving history. Others worry it is an operational signal or precursor, part of a network waiting for further communication. Regardless of the outcome, this moment challenges humanity to assess its preparedness, politically, ethically, and scientifically, for contact that arrives not with a warning but with pulses of light and intent coursing through the darkness. We have seen the light. We have tracked the motion. Now, we must choose how to respond. For Wave's discovery, this serves as a reminder that the universe continues to pose daunting questions. Are we alone? Who is observing us? And what may unfold when those observers choose to reply?